Hi, I'm Deborah,
And I'm Lawrence.
and today we're talking from our home as usual, but we're kind of forced to because we live in one of the counties in California that are in, they call it shelter in place, but it's not like you can shelter in place. It's you have to shelter in place. So we actually haven't gone anywhere for days.
I don't like it.
Yeah, we don't like it. I'm working from home. Lawrence is doing school from home, and it's
It sucks.
it sucks. So we know that a lot of other people are not only dealing with that situation, but also just anxiety, and possibly increased depression in general from the whole COVID-19 situation. It's something that not only is it scary, but it's also unknown. I mean, none of us really have faced anything like this because it's been 100 years. So pretty much no one alive has ever been through this. So we thought that we'd talk about some resources and ideas to deal with anxiety, stress, which can exacerbate depression, and isolation, which can also exacerbate depression. So the first thing we're going to talk about is anxiety. Now, we address anxiety in general on our channel because it's increasing,
Yeah.
especially among younger people. But obviously, it's increasing right now among a lot of people for good reason. I mean, there definitely is stuff to be anxious about, but there are some ways that you can mitigate that or mitigate its effect on your body, because when you're anxious, it's doing bad things to your body because you're getting a rush of adrenaline, and adrenaline is something that's essential when you really need it in a dangerous situation or even taking an exam. Like sometimes it's really needed. But if you keep having this flood of adrenaline, it's really bad for you. So you want to alleviate it. One thing you can do, and that is especially good in this situation, is do mindfulness meditation. Now, mindfulness is all about thinking about this moment. Now, obviously, in this situation, you could be worrying about my job, my bills, my health, my family and friends' health, my children's health. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can be worrying about. The problem is if you focus on that, that's when you keep getting that adrenaline flowing and you keep the anxiety flowing. So mindfulness is forces you to stay in this moment. And the more often you do that, the better off you're going to be. So there are several ways you can do that. There are lots of apps. One that we've both tried that we liked, although for us, mindfulness meditation is a little tough because of ADHD. But we do like Headspace. I've also tried Calm, which I like. And so those are both apps. There are tons of other ones. Something also that we also both like and works better for us with our ADHD for meditation is sound. Now, specifically, something that Lawrence and I have both done is this sound bath healing or sound bath meditation or sound healing. It's called a lot of different things. And so we're going to put links below. It's like a lot of people haven't tried it. So there's a good chance that if you're watching this, you haven't tried it. But it's fantastic. For most people, I think my husband, Lawrence's dad, he wasn't really sure about it. It's like the sound kind of bothered him. But I think that there are probably some people that it affects that way. But I sat in a room with 400 people during the first one I ever did, and it seemed like everyone thought it was great. But it's definitely, it's something you can try, and you can try it for free, so why not? So the person that we go to, she does a great job, doesn't she? She's doing like a mini session on Instagram, I think, every night. And then she also posted a video, I think the day before yesterday, that we'll link to, that is a 23-minute sound bath. and it's not the same as being there, but it's really nice. So we'll post a link to that. You can also listen to her sound baths and other people's on SoundCloud, and I'll link to those. Now, I'm not sure Lawrence as much as me, but one thing that really calms me down is like listening to rain or...
I like thunderstorm and lightning noises.
Yeah, thunderstorms. I mean, that's always been another favorite of mine, ocean sounds. And you can find tons of these on YouTube. And we'll link to some because they're just really, for a lot of people, I can feel my body instantly relaxing when I listen to those. So the next thing we're going to talk about is stress. Now, stress is obviously, it's again one of those things that a little bit is probably good, but only in very small doses. So it's especially bad. They've come out with another study just in the last week that shows, another study that shows that stress can increase or exacerbate depression. So stress is another thing you want to get off your body as soon as possible. One thing that I've always found really effective is exercise. And if you're confined to a great extent to your house, like we're now, like we can go outside and we can walk along the street. There's a nice park. A lot of people may not feel safe doing that, or it's not as easy for them as it is for us. But exercise you can do in one room. Excuse me. What I did for a few years until I hurt my back was I jogged in front of the TV using
the Wii
Fit. Wii Fit. No, it was Wii Fit.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was Wii Fit. I did it every day for like years. And it probably looks silly and it may sound silly.
It did.
But
both of those.
My leg muscles were so strong. So it may feel silly and it may sound silly, but literally jogging just in front of the TV you can do. And now what's on YouTube is actual like videos. You can find them of locations all over the world that people have taken of a jog through like Paris or through just beautiful places. So you just put it on and just jog while you're watching it. And then of course there are plenty of videos on YouTube about that show you how to exercise in a small space, and it'll make you feel better and it'll keep you much healthier, especially if you're like us, just basically sitting around all day because we don't have anywhere to go. Like literally we both just go to the living room in the morning to do our work and his work, school, whatever. Another thing that you can do for anxiety and stress is check out some events online. One that I ran across today is the Greater Good Science Center at UC Berkeley is putting on daily events. They're called A Daily Dose of Togetherness. And so this week, yesterday, they had a meditation, a guided meditation, and then some instruction or some learning on gratitude, focusing on gratitude. And today, then someone did a mindfulness meditation, I believe. So obviously, we're going to put links below to all this stuff. But that's another good idea. And then that can also help with isolation because you're doing it with a lot of other people. And then afterward, they have somewhere you can hang out and chat. Your thing.
For me personally, I've recently, because of this whole situation, been in a pretty bad mood, I'll be honest. She can attest to that. So I know this is some generic garbage, but for me, sometimes I'll just take a moment, like if I'm doing schoolwork and I'm just, I'm getting really, I don't know, I'm either freaking out about it or I'm just getting really overwhelmed. I'll just take a minute, I'll just sit there, I'll be like, all right, try to do nothing for a good couple minutes and relax myself. And sometimes I'll just sit and watch YouTube for a little bit, take a short break from my work. Usually I take longer of a break than I thought I would. But, you know.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I hope my
And
boss isn't watching, but me too.
it's a stressful time. I think she'll forgive you.
Probably.
But yeah, I mean, I do that a lot of the time because I get stressed pretty easily, and that usually works for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing you can do is both for stress and anxiety is there's some things you can do like progressive muscle relaxation. And actually, we have at least, I think, one video about anxiety and how to deal with it. So,
Yeah.
So you might want to check that out. We'll put a link to that below. So the last thing we're going to talk about is isolation and how to handle it. If you're someone who has depression, or if you're someone like me who's an introvert, you may not think that this is going to have an impact on you. If you're depressed, then you're probably isolating yourself a lot of the time.
You're used to it. You're probably used to it already.
Yeah, but this is a different situation. For one thing, you don't have a choice. And for another thing, this is pretty profound. So if you're depressed, you're normally going to be going to school or work most of the time. So you are having interaction with other people. And so you may not realize once that is withdrawn how much of an impact that's going to have on you. And so people with depression are at the most risk during, when they're either, if they live alone and they're under a similar kind of lockdown that we are, or if they're quarantined and they live alone, they're not having contact with people. Yeah. So it's something that that you really need to address. So I was out sick last week, worked from home, and then this is Thursday. So I didn't see anyone I worked with for a week and a half. And I like the people I work with. We're a really, all of us get along. We're, we enjoy each other's company. So this morning we had a department meeting by Zoom, and, it made me so happy. I didn't realize. I mean, you think email, texting. I've been texting with, one woman I work with all along. And you know what? It's not the same. It's not the same because we were all together, and you forget then people interact. So it's not just seeing the people and talking to them. It's the way that we interact with each other. We make jokes. We have inside jokes that we all know and everything. So this is really, really crucial. And I had read about it, and until we had that meeting this morning, I didn't realize. I knew I missed hanging out with people at work. But you know what? And I didn't think it would be the same. And it's not exactly the same. But you know what? It really helped. It really did. A lot.
So yeah, as she is saying, if you're depressed, you've probably already isolated yourself before and you're used to it. Personally, every day I had a group of friends that I would go hang out with. And now I haven't really been talking to them at all. And it's, it's weird. It really is weird. But, I'm talking to my other friends instead.
Well, you're an extrovert, too. I mean...
Not really. Ambivert.
Ambivert?
That's a thing.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm using the word correctly. Anyways, whatever.
I have an itchy nose because of my allergies, so sorry.
Oof. Anyways, so I'm used to isolating myself intentionally or unintentionally. But this is, as she said, a different kind of isolation. I mean, I was going to hang out with some friends during spring break, but, we're on shelter in place. And also, she and my dad are all concerned because they're old. So and then recently they've discovered, oh, look, young people are more susceptible too.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
So I guess your concern was not entirely badly, annoyingly founded. I guess it did have some merit to it.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
Well, my husband gets pneumonia very easily, and he's 72. And I have a compromised immune system because I take medication that compromises my immune system for my MS. So.
And he's elderly, and you're almost elderly.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not wrong.
Am
I? Am I?
It depends how you measure it. I don't think
Am I
57
wrong?
is elderly.
I said almost elderly.
I'm not sure. Who knows?
Almost
I'll
elderly.
take it. Whatever.
All right,
but the
yeah.
day, Monday. What day was it? Monday. We found out about the shelter in place. Oh my God! So much.
I was gonna hang out with
so
friends.
So much arguing, and just to try to.
I was gonna hang out with the boys.
Just to try to impress on him the gravity of the situation at this point was not easy. You know, it really wasn't easy.
I was gonna hang out with the boys. And now I can't.
I know. I realize that. You know, as I said, hanging out virtually is obviously not a perfect.
And I was gonna do a D&D campaign, and now I can't.
Well, that was one thing I was going to mention.
It's still,
people are doing D&D online, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's one way to substitute stuff.
Some people are doing it on Discord. I'm not sure.
It's not. I personally have used it for years. It sucks. It's not fun.
Someone else may have found a better way on Zoom. Maybe I know.
No, nobody uses Zoom. I've told this.
Your age.
I've told this to her. Nobody uses Zoom recreationally.
So what do they use instead?
Discord.
Okay, so Discord. Anyway. The point is, nothing is perfect, but there are substitutes. So, for instance, my sister sent me an email, my mom and I an email that she does in person. She calls it a Stitch and Bitch. Obviously, it's a knitters get together once a week in a bookstore. So she's doing it virtually. Then someone called Must Have Yarn has a virtual knitting night. And so there are a lot of things like that. So another thing that you can do is watch a movie and hang out and chat with family or friends, whatever. Netflix has something called Netflix Party. There are other options, and there's at least one of them that's free, and there's an article about it I'll link to below. Netflix does it through a Chrome browser extension. Everyone has to have a Netflix account who's hanging out. So that may not be ideal, but there are other options. The other idea is, and you may not have considered this if you're older than 30, but consider gaming online or gaming in multiplayer.
I have plenty of experience in this field.
And just so you know, it does not always mean shooting. So, for instance, there are two games I play on my phone that are mobile games. One is Looney Tunes, and another one is called Shop Titan. And both of those have guilds. So the reason people get to create guilds on these games is basically to because there are challenges and stuff like that. But people also chat. There's always a guild chat that's in most cases that's running, and people chat. And in my Looney Tunes game guild this week, people have been talking about how are you doing, how are you dealing with this situation. There are people from all over the world. Lawrence is Lawrence has been playing a multiplayer game with some of his friends called Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
No shooting.
Yeah, and it's about farming and
making friends.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Fishing.
And I've also been playing Borderlands 3, which is a shooter. And
actually those two games, Lawrence and I, because we have so much time together, we're going to start recording those sessions. Then when we play together, he's going to teach me first person shooters, like starting with Borderlands, because I'm terrible at them. And then he's even though he started playing Stardew Valley, he doesn't know it as well as I do. So he and I are going to play together, and
there might be Minecraft on the horizon. We don't know yet.
Yeah. So
I gotta get a new computer, and but since my job isn't going,
food restaurant,
restaurant business.
It's it's all but closed down.
Yeah, I can't get money anymore, so it's gonna be running mostly on her computer because I have a 10-year-old computer. Oof.
So these there are plenty.
Anyways, but yeah,
Yeah.
Regarding that, it's still being worked on. It's not immediate, but we are trying to set it up, and we will probably have it done sometime in the near future.
So could be fun. Might want to watch it just for fun. But so like I said, you know, if you're older than 30, you may not have thought about that as a way to meet people. But I've been playing in what's called MMOs,
massive multiplayer online,
since 1994. And
you're old.
I'm old. And people have formed just, you know, lifelong friendships on these. People have met and married. And what it comes down to is still being with people, talking with people. And so I'll put a link to one of a really good starter game for people who aren't used to this, a couple really good starter games below. And, you know, try it out. A lot of them are free to play with some restrictions, or free to play until you get to a certain level, or, you know, there are various things, but you can always try it out. And, you know, don't knock it till you tried it. I know I'm kind of an anomaly because I'm a 57-year-old woman who's been playing computer games for 25 years. But I'm not the only one, and there's a reason. People form just amazing friendships in these games. So, and that's one reason, especially if you're older, that you may wonder what's going on with kids, why they spend so much time online in games. Well, a lot of it is social relationships. Yeah. And you may find it hard to believe that this could be good, you know, save you from isolation, feeling isolated. But like I said, you have to try it. And there's a game for whatever you like to do. Like I said, there are plenty of mobile games that have connection with people. There's SimCity, where you can join guilds and talk to people. And so, you know, definitely, you know, we'll put as many links below as we can find, and we'll probably keep adding to them because there's going to be definitely articles and you know, maybe some really good resource pages that pop up in the next couple of weeks.
So anyways, we hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, you can leave a like. If you wanted to say anything at all, you can leave it in the form of a comment.
Yeah, if you have any good resources about ways to gather online virtually, or mindfulness, or whatever, that would be great if you could post.
Yeah, and if you like this content, you can subscribe. We're going to be posting more in the next however long we're in here, because, you know, don't have much else to do.
Well, because we're also here together during the day, and normally it's just not possible with the lighting to do it till the weekend. So. And
remember, first of all, the most important thing during these times, to stay safe, you know, wash your hands, avoid human contact with people, you know, that you don't spend all your time with. You know, basically just use common sense. We don't want anybody to get infected, you know. It's just not pleasant.
Yeah. Be sensible for, you know, because this is just the beginning. We got to wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
So.
But in any case, have a nice day and stay safe.
Take care.